I want to achieve my goal and I must achieve it. I want my family to come out of all these problems I had, and I don't want my people to suffer again.
I want to go to a level where I can come back and help the society and transform the society so that they don't face the challenges I faced. I want them to reach where I have reached.
I've started now my education. I have not to shame my parents. I have to make sure I completed it and attain what I want.
Parents are having 6 children and I'm the firstborn in the family. My parents were the one who was paying my school fees. And the challenges I experienced was during holidays. We have to work very hard brewing local waragi in order to get the school fees for going back to school. And it is also hard during brewing this waragi. We have to struggle carrying drums from the fire, emptying the residues from the drum and taking it back. And if you do it carelessly, you can easily burn yourself.
The little money that I had, or which I was being paid for my service, could not cater fully for Musukovia because she's not the only girl. There are 6 in number. And all this depends on the little money that I have. Secondly, this salary that I get was not always paid in time. At times it delays that makes our going back to school difficult.
My education was funded by my father, and the challenges I faced were insecurity from El Harahe Kony's war. This affected my studies in a way that my parents were sent in camp. Even me myself, I stayed in camp, and when they came back, we started digging when I reached secondary in 26, which made it very difficult for them to start digging and raise money immediately for my studies. So this made my studies very difficult because I could be sent back home for school fees. My father has been sick for 5 years where he suffered from tuberculosis. He was not allowed to dig. It was only my father to raise money, to dig and raise money for my studies. When I came back home during holidays, I could dig with my mother, make local brew in order for us to raise school fees. Before we went to camps, it was hard for us to study because we could go to school like in the morning. Afterwards, the teachers come, they said, oh, there is insecurity. They always disperse that at home, said, go back to your parents because we cannot keep you at school. When these Kony's rebels come, they will take the children and the parents will blame us, so they could send us home and we stay for some good weeks. And when they say, at least we can now study, they could inform us that pupils today, you come to school, and we go to school. Pupils were very many, and we lacked teachers and classrooms. When it rains, very hard to work. We could spend even 3 hours.
Not yet.
I'm doing Bachelor of Arts with Education. The subject is Literature and English in Gulu University. But the problem is I don't have enough money to finance my studies at university because I can see my parents' condition. They are sick and they no longer dig the way they used to dig when they were still young.
I stay with my mom, but they are all alive. My life was miserable because I wasn't feeling like others because others had a lot. During my studies, I made an attempt to get support from my father. His only answer was, I don't have money. Before he married my stepmom, he was really a good person. He could even advise us. Okay, help even from home, he could help us. And we were so used to him. He loved us at first, but from 2005, when he married my stepmom, his life changed.
He's also a teacher, and we stayed well. We matronized even in the church. I never knew there was going to be something like that. But now in this world, I don't know why he turned like that. Me, I thought if he was to turn away from me, he could not turn away from the children. But I'm wondering why he's like that.
From senior 1, I'd been suffering, but when I joined 11, I could just neglect them and just stick to my books, knowing that these are the problems, these are my problems in this world, and how will I avoid it? Surely I know I will avoid it by only studying. But if you take an instance, or maybe you do cry that I have this problem, I don't have something, the only way is just to cry. That is not a solution at all. Studying hard will make you come out of those problems.
And I wish with all my advice I'm giving her, she's not going to let me down. Let her continue with her education. Whether someone comes, I will not accept that, because I want them to be different.
My education was funded by my parents, and it was the money they were getting was from digging and making the local alcohol. And I got the challenges of selling the local alcohol because the local men around, they could come and con me that they want to marry. At times I could go to school and they sent me, because I could go without the school fees, and they sent me, I come and I dig home for something like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I go back. But during this duration I'm staying at home, I could not read, and I could find the difficulties of catching up with my friends as we are digging. Times you come back in the evening, you're tired, you know you are a girl, you have to come back from the garden, you cook, you prepare everything for the family, and you go and sleep without reading. And that one was the most problem I was facing, because I was the only girl and I'm the firstborn. I have to serve the whole family.
5 years from now, after completing my studies, I would like to come and work in my home district, and I help my community. Also, I have to come and advise them to take their daughters also to school.
The parents use just to support the boys, and they leave girls that the girls are useless. They just want dowry from the girls. And when your daughter reaches 15 years, they just advise you that you just give that one to any man. Should come and marry, and you get well from her. And that is why in this region, majority of the girls have not studied. Now I'm going to change that one by also encouraging my dear girls. They have to stand firm. However much they are facing that temptation from the parents and the boys around, they have also to be determined in what they are doing. They have to stand firm. However much they are suffering of getting school fees, I'm going to give them the testimony I've suffered, the way I've suffered, the way I've faced that challenges, and I overcome it. I'm going to make them, to let them also know, so that they also work hard and be like me.